First of all, I love these thumbnails that YouTube does, but essentially, just wanted to make this really quick video. I don't know if it's going to be quick. I think I say that about every single time. But, going live is something that I'm very blessed that is, not only an option, it's free. I don't need to do anything. I just need an account and then put the videos out there. Why? For multiple reasons. Number one is you have to be on. You have to be on, okay? You have to be on the entire time. Live TV, Saturday Night Live, SNL. Live TV live news used to be all the time. They didn't have pre-recordings. They didn't have tapings. They didn't have where you would slice it down. So going live, I'll talk about a couple of things. Number one is it held me accountable. It held me accountable. I needed to be held accountable. And why did I need to be held accountable? Because I have an internal drive on things that I already have as a habit. Waking up, my internal habit is to take a picture of my watch. Then I have the internal habit of going to the gym, the internal motivation of going to the gym because I have people that are there. But I did not have the internal motivation of actually making sales calls. Making sales calls, first of all, is not easy. Okay, I'll give you an example. I was talking with this agent. She wants to get recruited. I'm definitely going to recruit her. And she kept on talking about, she's like, oh yeah, no, I can make it. I'm fine with rejection. It's the same thing of something happens and they're like, oh, I would handle it this way. Anything in retrospect, okay? It's easy to say I can make sales calls. It's easy to say all these things. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people are on social media. I'll give you an example is Ty Lopez. The guy's great. He's pushing out a good story. But the problem is I feel he's doing it the wrong way in multiple reasons. Is he's monetizing the audience without actually being super transparent about it. Dude, tell us that you're selling his books. Tell us you're on a referral program. Tell us you're on a sponsorship by all these things that you're promoting. On top of that, he's not very transparent about his past and his businesses and things like that. That's why I think a lot of people are going towards the business person who is not looking to monetize their audience, but actually give value and say, oh, by the way, I have a book. That's why I think Gary Vaynerchuk is so successful is he's actually doing it. He's actually doing it. Same thing with me is that I'm not talking about prospecting. I'm actually doing it. So it's actually credibility to the person by actually doing it, number one. Number two is by actually doing it, you actually see me where I'm failing, number one. Number two is what I'm doing wrong. Number three is how you would improve. Number four is you're saying, okay, what would I do differently? When someone actually does something, they demonstrate it or they say a script or they say, I've watched a couple of videos on masculinity and things like that. And I'm like, that's just such a bullshit definition of masculinity. You got to be like this and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no. Improve yourself and just in all aspects. No girl is going to date you if you're a total knob. Okay, if you're walking around and your haircut looks like shit and you have acne and whatever, get your stuff together first, before you start talking to me about that. There's this girl that I used to follow, motivational speaker or life coach, as a couple people say under her bio, and she's a good speaker, nothing against her, but she's 22. She's 22 giving life advice. You're 22. 10 years ago, you were 12, okay? 10 years ago for me, went on a mission to unfollow. 100%, Chris, 100%. I couldn't agree more if there was more, I would agree more. Why? Because I went on a rampage of unfollowing people on Instagram and on especially YouTube, because I used to follow these people they were funny, they did pranks, and I'm like, what's the value these people are bringing to my life? Nothing. They're bringing no value to my life. Even people that I'm like, they're good, but they're even like a guy like Grant Cardone. Like, the guy's great, but once you've listened to him for a year, he's saying the same things. Someone like myself, I like you guys that are watching right now and that are going to be watching it afterwards, you want to get to the top. And the only way to get to the top is getting a little bit better. And if Grant Cardone is not rising to is not improving to the level that I am every single day, yes, he has a ton of more money. He's got millions, he's worth worth what, 150, 200 million dollars? I'm not even worth $1 million right now. You know, it's like, can I sell my business for $1 million? No. It's like, can I sell me for $1 million? Yes, but not my business. You know, if you take all my assets, there's no freaking way I'm even close to that. But the thing is, if I look at that and I say, what kind of value I'm getting every time I'm spending 45 minutes or half an hour with him, I'm subscribing 100%. And you guys should do the same. If I'm not giving you the value, let me know. Be like, Charles, you talk about the same shit every day. And then I think I actually started getting that inkling about Christmas time. And I'm like, I'm talking, but I'm not actually doing. I'm talking a lot of shit right now. That's really what it comes down to. Like this, the life coach, great girl, but it's like, you're not really in shape. You can't really talk about health. You're not really going to the gym. You're not really showing, like your legs are a little bit big. What's up, Jenny? Offender channel from the book reviews. You would be awesome on the show, Million. I've actually been on the show. You know, I would say, listen, I'll show you my long-term plans right now. So we're in my office. Tiny space. This is the entire office. You guys probably just got dizzy. This is my long-term plans. It's probably backwards. I don't know if it's actually showing up yet. It's showing up backwards, unfortunately, because it's on selfie mode. But it's BPI 2025. We're in year 2018. Yeah, 2018. So that's what, 7 years? I wasn't the best at math. So that's 7 years away, and to actually get there, I need to be doing a certain amount of things. And then I'll show you, you know, so not to block the camera, this is also on backwards, but this is essentially BPI Holdings and then what I want to do. Ultimately, you know, I thought I actually wanted to be, you know, not like a Tony Robbins, but I thought I wanted to be like a cooler version of Tony Robbins. Like Tony Robbins is a little insane, you know. But I've actually noticed that I really want to build just a ridiculously sized business and then just give it all away when I'm like 175. Just build a ridiculous sized business and just do the Bill Gates or the Elon Musk when they're old and they're gonna retire. But along the way is document the journey. By the way, I'll give you this. Nobody knows this. You know how much I'm spending for this office space? You saw it. It's probably what, like 9 by 9? You know, this would probably be your walk-in closet in the suburbs. I'm spending $3,000 a month. $3,000. So if I have 2 of these, I'm spending $6,000, and I can only fit like 5 people comfortably. And I'm really freaking loud when it comes to the phone calls that people are like, dude, shut up. But going back to the accountability to myself is I started calling myself out. And I talked about it this morning with the self-acceptance. Read the book, Self-Acceptance. Every book you read, just get one thing. Here are the books over here. You know, Raving Fans, Contagious, How I Raised Myself from Selling. You know, what's the other one? Hidden School by Dan Millman. Dan Millman wrote that other book. Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. You know, by the way, if you haven't read Jack Canfield, like The Old Office when you used to film on the roof. That we're in the same place. Yeah, the roof is great. The problem was I would get distracted and I wouldn't do any work. I would just be up there doing videos. So listen, I know this is an exciting, you know, looking at the back of a bathroom thing. But I can tell you right now, I'm making a lot more money than when I was on the roof. When I was on the roof, I would just talk to girls and do absolutely nothing. So. But I'll give you my long-term 7-year plan, and then I'll let you guys go, and if you have any questions. So what I noticed is that the only people I'm really following and I actually take their advice, first of all, is any book. A book, I've eliminated pretty much podcasts or even like YouTube videos that people are not giving me value because they spend whatever amount of time and it's good, but a book is literally curated to only the best content that has taken them years, like Tools of Titan or anything by, what's his name, 50, I was gonna say 50 Shades of Grey, or 48 Laws of Power. Who is that by? Robert Greene, I think it is. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. But he takes 2 years to finish each book. you know, someone that I religiously follow is the guy, the Daily Stoic. What's his name? Young guy too. He's in his 30s. You know, those are the people that they say this is my lane. Gary Keller, and The One Thing. If you have not read that book, you need to read that book. There's 3 books I would recommend. Number 1 is The One Thing. Okay, Ryan Holiday. Thank you, Chris. The One Thing by Gary Keller. The second book, the second book is Brain Grain or Grain Brain, one of those. And that is, I forgot who that's by, but that's all about the gut. And you have to understand what you're eating, because since I've gone, it is 7 o'clock. Okay, let me just give you a breakdown of my week. I went out, my schedule is insane. I actually have it right in front of me. Okay, so I went out Tuesday. I was at something till 9, got home at 10, woke up at 5. That was Tuesday, 6 to 9. Wednesday was here until, actually no, I had a networking event. Then last night I went out till God knows how long, 11. You could hear my voice. I drank a lot last night. I'm a little hungover, but I convinced myself not to be, okay? Number 1. Number 2, it's 7 p.m. I should not be at work right now with this much amount of energy. This is because I eat salads and all this other things, and I'm not like this miracle man. I just know the other stuff is really, really bad for your body. Just look up. There's a YouTube channel. You have to look this guy up. Is unbelievable. And I'll pull up one of his videos. But you have to learn about your health. So Brain Grain is good. Number 2 is The One Thing for your business. And the third thing, I would probably say, man, that's a toss-up. It has to be Michael A. Singer, because you have to get your mind right. You look around, if someone is bald, it's very unlikely that it is hereditary. A lot of people say it's hereditary, but if you study the science of the environment people grow up in, it's incredible. Everything that you can learn, the environment that people grow, they actually have science that says while the baby is in the womb, if you put headphones around the woman's stomach and you play pleasant music, the baby actually it hears it and it reacts to it. They say that if you have a loving, laughing mother, that the baby comes out and you actually, they show hundreds studies of kids that are not loved and held and coddled in the first 12 months. And that is when the baby's personality is pretty much just made up. A religious figure once said, hundreds of years, give me someone before the age of 7 and I'll make them religious. And it's true. You can make them whatever. You can make them hate people, love people, or whatever the case is. So highly recommend 2 things that I've noticed is accountability and consistency, and that's it. The only way you can be consistent is if you hold yourself accountable with a spouse, a friend, or anyone else. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to 100% do the prospecting, because the amount of appointments, the amount of business, the amount of confidence, because I'm doing things that I know other people don't want to do. I'm doing things that I don't even really want to do. And who is that other YouTuber? Yeah, you know what? I'll look it up, because honestly, he is so, I'm going to use the word, so fucking brilliant. I got to transform. I answered all the comments. I went on like a comment rampage. I got to bring it up right now. And the reason being, he is probably in his late 20s, early 30s. I don't give a shit how old you are. I'll take advice from a 12-year-old if they're smart. I'll take advice from a 120-year-old. But this guy does his research, and he gives the science here. He go, what I've learned, all right? And his latest one, ironically enough, is called How the Gut Microbiome Affects the Brain and Mind, all right? The gut microbiome, there are more, I don't even want to go into the science, but there's more, whatever you eat affects the brain more than your brain essentially affects itself, okay? That's really hard to explain, but what you eat actually affects your mood, your concentration. It breaks down not only your skin, sugar. You eat sugar, and so collagen is essentially what keeps your skin nice and tight and everything else. And One Meal a Day is a great video of his. Yeah. If you watch them, watch them. What I've learned. All right, now I'll just go over this. Is that sugar breaks down the collagen that's in the cells, and collagen actually keeps your skin tight. So when you hear people say that they're getting, collagen implants and whatever, they're actually getting. That's why they look, like that, because collagen makes your skin tight. And when you break down the collagen, you get it from being out in the sun too long, eating too much sugar. You also get a lot of, what are those things? Freckles? I think they're freckles. This guy that I'm at the gym with, when you see a lot of freckles, that means the guy is eating something terrible, because a reflection of their skin is actually from the inside, okay? So when you get pimples, I get pimples when I have milk. So what did I do? I cut out milk. I wish I knew that when I was 16 years old. It would have been a lot better not getting bullied for acne, Like, think about it. If you my hair is so freaking soft. I don't know if you can, my hair is so soft because I've changed my diet. Last year, my hair was like, it was greasy, it smelled, it was just terrible. I sweat, it smelled. I changed my diet, totally different. I have more energy, I have more enthusiasm, my skin is better, my hair is better, my sweat doesn't smell, my pee doesn't smell. These are uncomfortable things, but people like to say it's hereditary. Why? And I'll give you this exact reason. They say it's hereditary because then they don't want to take responsibility. And taking responsibility is the hardest thing for people to do, for one simple reason. Check out nutrition. He's a vegan nutrition. He's your age, does bodybuilding. That's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it. Accountability for the biggest reason. What was I just saying? Accountability for the biggest reason. Because it challenges your ego. And people, Tony Robbins has said this. He said, you will do anything in the world to stay consistent to who you think you are. You will do anything. So if you think you're smart, if you think you're intelligent, books besides Grain Brain. Honestly, gosh, I went on a rampage last year. I went on an absolute rampage. Look up they dive so far into the science. Also look up two people. Number one is Dr. Joe Dispenza, in Super Life is a great one. Ultramind Solution, read both of them. And go and watch Dr. Joe Dispenza. His mindset videos are out of this world. Out of this world. He scientifically has proven that the environment actually affects the cells, go through the cells' walls, multiply, and then understands that I am an action-oriented person or a passive or a lazy or a shy person, and then those cells multiply. So if you get into an action-oriented state, then you become that person. Okay, that's why people say there's momentum or there's consistency. It's actually a habit based on science, okay, which is insane. Yeah, it's wild. Go and watch Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and they've proven the cells, and they go through the science. They've done the science, and the reason they've done the science is because this was in the 70s. This was before neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, highly recommend that, by the way. Neuroplasticity. Also recommend not Dan Millman. There's another book out there about myelin. So myelin essentially is the little coating around your brain, and then when you get a habit and you get ingrained of doing the same thing, so they take. Why are the best violinists, and is currently reading one of the books, The Power of Habit, obviously Dr. Charles Duhigg, highly talent code. There you go. What's the author's name on it? Coyle. There you go. Wow. So that was one of the things I used to convince myself. I'm not smart. I don't remember things. Now I've convinced myself based on Shad Helmstetter, Dr. Shad Helmstetter. He actually shot me an email one time when I reviewed his book. You know what to say when you talk to yourself. The and Shad Helmstetter also has another book. There are so many books out there. Only read books. Honestly, only read books. Podcasts I got rid of. Most of YouTube I've gotten rid of because the people, they're not getting any better. They're just talking to monetize their audience. And I just noticed that this year at 32 years old, I just noticed, which is crazy. So anyway, I'm going to hop out. It is now 7:50 and have an awesome weekend. I'm going to see you guys. I'm probably going to go to live every single day at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then at 9 o'clock on here, and then at 9 o'clock I'm going to go live and for the live prospecting. So if you guys have any, it's all marketing. It is all fucking marketing. I'll just leave you with that. Is just, please, you guys are way too intelligent to fall for the bullshit. I bought 2 recent programs. Number one is Bob Proctor's doing a seminar right now, and I can watch it on repeat. So I bought Bob Proctor's, I forget what he calls it. I think the Matrix or the I don't know, whatever. They all have a title. Bob Proctor's newest program, that was $197, and then I bought Grant Cardone's. I think that was $197 too, so that was $400. But I know if I get one thing, because they have so many Jesus Christ, Chris, you should have your own YouTube channel. Paradigm Shift. Yeah, it's happening right now. But the thing is, I don't watch it live. That's a waste of time. I watch it at 3 times the speed. Once it's done, I open up all the videos, and I just, when I'm eating lunch, and I just rip through all the videos for half an hour. Half an hour is 150 minutes because I'm watching it at 3 times the speed. You got to watch videos faster. Number one. Number two is just be smarter about how you spend your time, because I wasted way too much time, and now I'm so freaking diligent. If you saw my calendar, it is to the 15 minutes. To the 15 minutes. So 8:50 live on here, 9 o'clock live prospecting, and during that time, I actually don't just prospect, I actually answer the questions. I know Erwin, he's religious about it. Mark is religious about it. Love those guys. You know, I met with Mark. I'm giving him business in the future. As I expand and start making tons of dough in this coming year, Mark's going to be getting a lot of money, or a lot of business, I should say, and money. But if you guys have any ideas, leave it in the comments below. And for me, I'm holding this on my iPhone, so there's no excuses. There's no excuses. If you want to start a blog, if you want to do your side hustle, if you want to do whatever, just make it a legit business. Don't do the 5 minutes to being a millionaire. You know, the 5 steps. That's all bullshit, all right? You guys are smart enough. I know you're not going to buy that. And I will never put out a program like that. Maybe in 10 years, I'll put out the principles that I've learned. You know, I've already been thinking about one book in my mind, how not to start a business, and then all the all the errors and mistakes and foibles that I went through, and it will definitely be a bestseller, because it will blow your mind, all the things that are being sold to you on starting a business that don't mean anything. The number one thing you need to know starting a business is revenue. If you don't have any revenue, you're fucked and you're out of business. Now, one company has gone out of business that has said, wow, I'm making too much money right now. No, they go out of business because they're not making enough money, and then they spend all their money on marketing or overhead or a really nice office space that I did, or their branding or their website or a blowout launch party, or too much in R&D, and they're not bringing in the revenue. Dude, you got to go out there and you have to make the dough. You have to make it rain. That is now my role. I have to make it rain, and if I'm not making it rain, the company's flopping, okay? Adam is at home. We're prepping for literally this year, and he's going to be that hustler. We're the video guy's coming in next week. We're going to be putting out better content. You know, the vlog with what's his name from Bold, which is here in New York City. You know, I've been messaging him back and forth to potentially do, you know, some kind of speaking or whatever. You know, I'd love to just network with that guy. Go follow him. His name is Brian Cristiano. Great guy. He wants to blow up his company, and he's like, listen, 100 million. I want to go to $1 billion. So that's all. Listen to a clip of Jim Rohn. Yeah, Jim Rohn. Go to the classics. Those are the OGs. You know, Madonna or whatever his name is, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn. Watch them at 2 times the speed. What was the book you mentioned at 48 something? Yeah, that's what's his name? Something Green. 48 Laws of Power. It's really hard, these books to get through. The Art of Seduction, I think he also wrote. and something Green. Brian Green is the physicist who I follow, who's absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. I'll make a video of all the things on physics and whatnot. I was going to just look them up, 48 Laws of Power. Have an awesome day. I'm going to go get a salad right now, 7:18. I'll see you guys on Monday. Talk to you guys soon.